started making names right away. And I loved it. I was robbing drug dealers and taking their gold right off their neck. And the shit we did, who's going to call the police on you? A drug dealer?
I could identify with anything that was normal, to be honest with you. But I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
99% of the time, you're going to disappear.
Just like the Donnie Brasco situation with Lefty.
Yeah, because the reason why, they figure it this way. You brought this guy around, he ratted on everybody, now he ratted on you. You might turn around and join him and rat on us, so we get rid of you, there's no connection between there and there, and they get rid of you.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Uncle John Livia, right?
Livia, yeah. What's up, dude? What's happening?
Livia. What's good, man? How are you? Thanks for coming on my show, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, are you kidding? It's an honor, dude. It really is. When people ask me to come on, it's an honor.
Yeah, we've been trying to link up for a while, trying to get the our schedules in order, but we finally got it done, man.
Yep. Yeah, we're good. We're good. So what's happening, man? How you doing?
People have to ignore the delay. There's a little bit of a delay. We're trying to catch it. You know what I mean? Sometimes
right.
You can catch it, sometimes you can't, and sometimes it just looks terrible. But hopefully it looks good for you guys out there. I appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch this show. Yo, where were you born and raised? And what year were you born?
76. I was born in Coney Island Hospital. I was in Brooklyn, New York. And then in my teenage years, I moved to Staten Island.
So what was it like growing up in New York?
Well, my parents were pretty straight. So they kept me away from all the riff neighborhood. And they did the most part. They did the same with my brothers. Don't get me wrong. My oldest brother got in trouble and whatnot, and my father always had to get him out of trouble. But they always kept him on the straight and narrow because neighborhood, it would be really easy to get lost, for lack of a better term. So my parents always really kept us on the straight. I remember growing up, and mother telling me I couldn't here, I couldn't go there. We'll stop around the corner from me on 20th Ave, and there was all video games. So kids wanted to go play video games, but they sold drugs in there. So my mother would be going there. And then what happened was my father making money. He was an electrical contractor.
I hate to interrupt you, but when you talk, it's like doubling.
Oh God,
it's weird. Do you guys hear that out there? It's like doubling your last word you say. It's doubling it.
If I get,
man. Turn the echo cancellation off. Maybe
let's
that'll work.
Let's say. Okay, settings, auto, echo cancellation. Is that helpful? What if I do this? What if?
Yeah, they hear it too, Gianni. Yes, I hear it.
How about that? Do you hear anything?
It's not doubling. No, you're good.
Is it better now?
Yeah, you were good. You're good. It's not doubling or anything. You sound perfect. So you said you were your brother was getting in trouble and trying to keep him on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, I mean he was
older than you.
Yeah, my brother was 14 years older than me, and my other brother's 11 years older than me. And my parents were originally from Red Hook. They call it Carroll Gardens now, but they always call it Red Hook. And then they bought a house in Bensonhurst. My father was, a straight dude. He was an electrician. He was a knockaround guy. He was a typical Brooklyn knockaround guy. He was an electrician, and he opened up his own business. He was an electrical contractor. My mother was a stay-at-home mom. And the majority of people in the neighborhood, that's the misconception. The majority of people in the neighborhood were, hardworking, tax-paying people. The neighborhood was plagued with gangsters, but but for the most part, most people well, like my parents, where they wanted their kids to go to school and so on and so forth, and they kept them away from all that crap. And so I really never really got into a lot of trouble. It's just like kid shit, you know, like who could get into a fight, you know, you get in trouble at school. But, you know, I had discipline. You know, the worst words I ever heard in my life was, wait till your father gets home.
Yeah, I remember that shit. Too.
Yeah, you know, so, you know.
Your stepfather gets home.
Yeah. So, and then my father started making money. We moved to Staten Island. And what was funny, I said this on the last interview I did with Hootie. What was funny is, like, when I was in Bensonhurst, I remember a lot of the Persicos were like running things. You know, I remember Greg Scarper, and I remember there was the war, you know, with the Colombo crime film. And then I moved to Staten Island, and my parents sent me to a Catholic school. You know, because like I said, they always wanted to keep me and my brothers on the straight and narrow. Yeah. And for the most part, it worked. You know. But I remember going to Catholic school, and then I'm in school with fucking Desiree Persico. I'm like, oh Jesus, I can't get away from these people.
How were they in school? How were the children of these people? Allie
Boy only had girls. I'm pretty sure I had 3 girls, and I went to school with the oldest girl, Desiree. We still keep in touch, and I've been trying to get her on my podcast, but she absolutely refuses to come on. She goes, absolutely not, no way. There's no way in hell I'm coming on. I'm like, all right, you know, whatever. I just figured, you know, she would, you know, most girls would probably, you know, jump at the opportunity for their 15 minutes of fame, but she was like, nah, no way. But no, she was, I mean, like, so there wasn't like, you know, the boys that were rough, you know, Junior's kids, like Allie Boy, Junior had boys and whatnot, but they were a lot older than me, you know. But you know, Desiree was only 2 years younger than me, you know, so it was Allie Boy's daughter, actually, and her and I got along. And I remember one time, and now I'm like my maybe early 20s, and I go to this club in Brooklyn in Bay Ridge. I forgot the name of it. And I was waiting online, and I see her by the door, and she comes over to me, and she's like, yeah, come on in, come on. You know, because she knew everybody, you know, in there. And she got me and my friend in for free. We didn't have to wait online because she's Desiree Persico. But this is back in, like, the, you know, late 90s.
Yeah, they treat her with respect.
Yeah, right.
The boss's daughter, right?
Meanwhile, I'm standing online, like, you know, freezing my dick off because it was the middle of the winter. You know?
But was there any situations that really stuck out to you growing up?
Well, yeah, but it wasn't like mafia related, you know. You gotta remember, you know, there's just like a lot of rough kids in the neighborhood. There was a lot of rough dudes, you know. I mean, like, you know, there was like, so I remember this one time there was this kid. He went to high school with my middle brother. His name was, what was his name? Louis Lonnie. And there was a pizzeria, and it was right on 18th Avenue. He got into a fight at the pizzeria, and he trips on the sewer cap. Right, he's fighting in the street there. He trips on the sewer cap, and the kid pulls out a small axe, right? And he hits the kid. He hits Louis Lonnie in the head with the axe, and then the kid, I guess, got scared because he realized what he did, and he fucking ran away. And Louis Lonnie held the piece of his head down that he chopped off and walked to the hospital. You know, that's the story. I mean, I just remember him walking away, but that's the story. The story was that he walked to the hospital, and he lived. Like you know, fist fighting and stuff like that all the time. But I don't, you know, I didn't witness any shootouts or anything like that. Like, you got to remember, man. You know, my parents were on me. You know, they were like, they were not gonna lose their kids to bullshit. You know, and it worked because my older.
Did you hear talking in the neighborhood? Did you hear? Talking in the neighborhood? Did you hear different stories getting circulated around
all the
what
time?
Was going on and who was involved?
All the time. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of it was the Persicos and the Columbus and the war, because that was the 90s, and that's when we left, right? And we heard about Wild Bill Cutolo. He was like for some reason, I don't know why, but I remember he was like the main name. Like, everybody was scared of him. Everybody had respect for him. He was known as a guy that would kill you on the spot. There was a story about him killing somebody in a not a supermarket, but a department store on I think it was in Brooklyn. But I don't know the whole story because it was just hearsay. Like I said, man, my parents really did their best to have their kids grow up honest, you know, and for the most part it worked. So
Yeah.
my oldest brother is he's a contractor. All three of us became electricians because my father was an electrician, but then I took the job with the New York City sewer system. So my oldest brother is a contractor. He's very well off. He made a lot of money as a electrical contractor. He owns his house outright. He owns Section 8 buildings. He's got two beautiful girls. One just graduated grad school. The other one, works and has a boyfriend. My other brother is married. He's got 2 kids and 2 grandkids and a third on the way. And so it was a very, they made sure that we stayed on the straight and narrow, because the truth of the matter is, is it glamorous and everything? But look, you look at the lives of these guys, and just go down the list. Larry Mass did 12 years in jail, and Johnny Light did 16 years in jail, and then not to mention the drugs and the alcohol and the fear you got to live in, and so on and so forth. And these guys lose their lives. Yeah, that was why it's Wild Bill. Yeah, that's Wild Bill. I've been trying to get his son on, actually. His son.
So did you? When he went missing, what was the rumblings in the neighborhood when he went missing?
Well, by the time he went missing, I was living in Staten Island, but everybody pretty much knew that they got him. They weren't going to let him go because he was the muscle on that side of the faction. So everybody knew that they got him, but nobody knew how or when or so anything like that. I just my channel, my YouTube channel. If you've seen my YouTube channel, it's not just crime, and that's a lot of guys do just crime, but that's just a small percentage of my channel. I've interviewed bodybuilders, elite bodybuilders, elite powerlifters, elite arm wrestlers. I've interviewed plenty of porno girls. I've interviewed professional wrestlers, sons of famous professional wrestlers. I mean, I've interviewed fetish girls. I've interviewed comedians. Anything that dudes like, anything that guys like, and I do the news with my friend, like we were talking before. Then we used to do this thing called Guy Talk, which I really should get back together, but I have not. Where we just sit around drinking, talking shit. If you ever watch
I was seeing that, but you guys were like, you guys drink. You got to drink to get on the show. Man, I don't drink. So.
We got 2 rules. Don't talk about pot.
I'd have to drink a soda or fucking coffee or something.
And it's funny because by the time we're done, we're all wasted. By the time we're done. Yeah.
Sure.
So for the most part,
people want to know what's your channel.
Oh, it's Serious and Silliness on YouTube. I should have worn my T-shirt, but I didn't. It's
your logo. I saw your shirt. That's a pretty dope logo, man.
Yeah, it's basically a half gladiator and half court jester. So I have the gladiator tattooed here and the court jester here. So it's half and half put together. I should have worn the T-shirt, but I didn't. I was like, I didn't even think of it. I actually picked it up. I was like, nah, I'm not wearing it.
What's the name of it again? I'm gonna put the link in the description.
Serious, SERIOUS, and AND, Silliness, SILLNESS.
SILL.
INESS.
Silliness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description.
Thank you, sir.
And it's on Apple and all that, right?
It's on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, and YouTube.
Yeah, I see it right here. Boom.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
Yeah, I'll leave a link in the description for you.
Oh, all right.
So, a question I wanted to ask you, man, is you interview a lot of these people. Because I keep seeing a lot of interviews with Hootie keep coming out. Mm-hmm. And it keeps getting outlandish and crazy, the things that he's saying. Like, It's insane. It's kind of like he's taking himself and putting himself in Michael Francese's shoes or something.
Nobody's in Michael Francese's shoes. Let me tell you how smart Michael Frances is. He knows this whole mafia thing is going to come to an end and people aren't going to want to see it anymore. And he's literally changed his channel to an interview channel. Like, he had Jordan Peterson on his latest show. I don't know if you know who Jordan Peterson is.
Yeah. No. I don't.
He is he's a scholar.
Jordan Peterson?
He's a clinical psychologist. He's a scholar, a professor in Toronto. And basically what he got famous because in Canada, they passed this law that made it illegal for you to refuse to refer to somebody as their chosen pronouns. So you know how a trans person says, I want to be known as they or he or she or whatever pronouns they choose? So in Canada, if you don't do that, it's illegal.
Yeah.
And he spoke out against it. Like, that's ridiculous. What? That's yeah. So he spoke out against it hugely. Like, and he's a brilliant professor. And he's been on Joe Rogan like 3 times or 4 times. He's been on so many shows. And you can't. The guy is an encyclopedia. He rattles off stats and so on and so forth and blah blah blah. And he was just on Michael Francese's show, and they were talking about he was basically diagnosing him because he was telling him his background, and because he's a clinical psychologist, a therapist, whatever. Yeah, clinical psychologist. Yeah. And the guy is one of the smartest men I've ever listened to in my life. And then he had, so Frances knows that, this whole thing about, interviewing gangsters and is gonna, get monotonous, and he's basically changed the show to an interview show, right? Where Sammy just keeps telling the same story. Sammy the Bull it's like, all right, like I heard this story already, 3 times already, so on and so forth, But yeah, with Hootie, I mean, I saw him on Vlad TV. I had the pleasure of being on John Alite and Michael Dowd's podcast. I went down to Florida and they had me on as a guest, and they did me a huge favor, and forever I'll be grateful for them because they helped me out. Basically, anybody who helps me out, I'm gonna be grateful for, And so what happened was I just reached out to John and I said, can you put me in touch with Hootie? I want to see if he'll come on my show. This was, like I said, I saw him on Vlad TV, and I saw a couple other interviews, and he goes, yeah, sure. John Alite was like, yeah, no problem, and he messaged him and gave me his number, and Hootie and I talked, and he was cool. He was a perfect gentleman. He's like, yeah, no problem, I'll come on. We talked on the phone. I asked him if there was anything he didn't want me to ask him, and he said, no, you can ask me whatever you want, and I was like, all right, cool, and then we got it done, and that was it.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy the things he's claiming. He claims that he turned down being made a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, I never heard that, but okay, good.
Then I heard that he said that he was a Gambino, like he was a member.
Yeah.
He wants people to. I understand clickbait and all that shit.
Right, of course.
But bro, he said he made $100 billion. Let me find the comment. This is from his mouth. It's insane. Like it just.
Well, I mean, the first thing is like anybody from those kind of neighborhoods, whether it's Bensonhurst, Ozone Park, Red Hook, those guys. I mean, they do exaggerate and bullshit a lot, and so on and so forth. I'm used to that, but
yeah.
In fairness, I asked him to come on. He was a perfect gentleman. He was cool with me. I asked him questions. He loves to talk. I let him talk, and he answered all my questions without. And they're like, I really couldn't ask for any more. For me to say what's true and what's not true, most of the stuff I couldn't prove or not prove. So the guy was a perfect gentleman. Answered all my questions. We had, I think it was like an hour and 15 minutes. And that was really it. I'm an interviewer, and sometimes I research a lot of stuff, and sometimes I research a little bit of stuff, and I'm not going to be one of these guys like I'm not going to be a Bill O'Reilly or Pierce Morgan that's going to grind you when you come on my show. That's ridiculous. You know, like, I can't.
Yeah, where you're like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna go on there.
Yeah, did you see?
People are like second guessing you.
Did you see Andrew Tate when he was on Pierce Morgan? Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
He
you
was
could.
being nasty with him, right?
Yeah, man, like he couldn't finish a sentence. Like, dude, people are tuning in to see Andrew Tate, not you, and that's the model that I follow. Like, because what happened was I first started doing the interview, start doing my podcast where I was talking into a mic, and I wasn't getting good results because I'm not a name, I'm not a famous guy, I'm not a Sammy the Bull or Michael Franchise or you know, Jordan Peterson. I'm not a famous guy.
I'm not either, but you got pretty far, man. You got pretty far without being a famous name, just like me. We're pretty much at the same
same level, give or take.
around the same.
The thing is, though, I realized that a few months in, like, nobody's watching this, nobody knows me, and I changed to an interview show, and I the first person I thought of was Larry King. I remember Larry King had a career for 35 years, and everybody tuned in to see his guests, not him. And he would ask questions, and he would ask backup questions, but he would never drill anybody or say they were wrong or say they were lying on air or anything like that, like a Bill O'Reilly did or does or Pierce Morgan does now. And I was like, that's the style that I'm going to follow. And the guy had a tremendous career for 35 years, and he had these amazing celebrities on. And so that's basically it. And the large majority of people come on without wanting to get paid. You know, most people don't. They go, yeah, no problem. Some people say, you know, you got to pay me, or they have to deal with their agent.
I never paid for an interview, man.
Oh, well, okay, you're lucky. But, like, a lot of times, like,
I take pride in that.
Yeah, a lot of times, you know, people have agents and they want them on, and then they want to get paid. And I understand people have to make a living. And I remember talking to my brother about it. My oldest brother is, you know, he's a contractor, and he said money is a tool. And if you could afford it, use that tool and get them on. And I never forgot that. I was like, okay, money is a tool. So that's when there was this one powerlifter that I wanted on, Julius Maddox. He has the world record bench press. And he benched like 783.
Yeah.
And I asked him to come on, and he goes,
that's a lot. That's a lot of fucking weight,
dude,
bro.
in a t-shirt.
That's a lot of weight, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And a t-shirt like this. Right? Like, no nothing. Like, just gets on the bench, bow, right? And he goes, I get $250 for a podcast. So that's when that was the first person that asked for money. So I asked my brother, and he goes, well, my oldest brother's, you know, pretty smart guy, which is, you know, so is my middle brother, but they're smart in different ways. So my oldest brother, I go to him, and he goes, and that's when he told me, money's a tool, and you knew this was going to happen sooner or later. And he goes, if you could afford it, just do it and get him on. And I was like, all right. And that was it. I got him on. And then, but like, I could count on one hand how many people wanted to get paid. You know what I mean? You know, and
I mean, some people want to get paid. So with me, I look at it like I'm offering them something. By me putting them on my show, I'm offering them exposure to whatever they have. Say they have a book for sale, or they have a movie, or whatever they have. They have something tangible. Even if they don't have something, I always offer them something without offering them something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It's like, and I'll always work with someone, like, I'll say, I'll work around your schedule. So if someone says, oh, I charge $500 to go on a podcast, I say, well, I charge $500 for people to come on my podcast.
Right.
Because it's work to me too, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Taking my time, just like they're taking their time. And I try to give and take with people. Robert C., thank you so much for that super sticker. I appreciate that, man.
Oh, man, you got $2. Not bad.
Did you? Yeah, hey, man, $2 more than I had 2 seconds ago, right? Did you figure it out how to stream it onto yours?
Well, I do the StreamYard. I did a live one a couple days ago with this girl. Did you see that one?
No.
No, dude. I'll tell you, these girls are nuts. They really are. This girl,
Yeah, I know,
This-
man. I worked at a strip club for the last 3 months.
Oh,
man.
so you
Like-
know,
like,
yeah, they are really
during
out
summer.
there. It's just, this girl, I interviewed this girl because I never heard of these breast implants that she has before. She told me that they're called expander breast implants, and they don't stop growing. They will get as big as you want them to get. Right? And I was like, how the hell does that? Because we were talking, so I messaged her because she was talking about it on her Instagram. She's got an Instagram, show she does every Tuesday called Jugs and Mugs, and she was talking about her expander implants. And she just wanted them, and she got them filled even more, and now they're bigger. And I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? So I messaged her, and she goes, yeah, they're called expander implants, and what they are, they're this saline solution, and they have like little nozzles in the back. And every couple of months that she goes, they get it. They have a syringe, they fill it with saline, and they put it into the nozzle, and the tit gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And
so
then
it's like a little nozzle on her armpit or something.
yeah, but it's
crazy.
inside her. It's not sticking out. It's inside her. So they have to line it up with the syringe, and then fill it with saline.
Yeah.
So she was a double D,
Wow.
and then she was a G cup, and now she's a J cup.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. I
Yeah,
never heard
yeah.
nothing like that.
So-
like Nike pumps, the same thing.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
Nike
yeah.
pumps.
Dude, it's like these girls are nuts. Like if my grandmother was alive to see what the girls are like today, she would probably pack up and go back to Italy.
Yeah, my grandmother would freak too,
Oh.
probably, if she's seen like what people are complaining about and just the way people are acting in general. It's insane.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand, man.
Listen to this. We do the news. Me and my friend Justin, we do the news, right? And we look up
Yep.
all these crazy things that happen in the news, right? And we found out the story that this company started making what's called butt babies.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like a little baby that people
Yeah.
put in their butt, right?
Yep, for trans women to make them feel like they're giving birth.
Yeah, it's for women or guys who
Yeah.
are really try to be women, right?
Yeah.
Guys who try to be women
Yeah,
to make them feel like they're giving birth.
yeah. So they have to shove this thing up their ass. So my friend was like, "What if you got twins? Like you got to shove two of them up your ass?"
Oh, yo, that's really like a real thing too, man. It's insane. I'm gonna show you guys
Oh,
a
yeah.
picture of what they look like.
Yeah, it's like this little rubber doll, like, and it's in the shape of a fucking baby. And the funny part is, it comes in different colors. So if you want a black one, you get a black one. A white one, you get a white one.
Wow, it's crazy, man. I don't get it, man.
Did you
Did
see?
you see them? Do you cover? Because I have a show called Mugshot Monday, man, where we cover different crimes and things that's happened.
Mhm.
And there's some crazy crimes that are happening throughout the U.S.
Really?
Here's the little babies.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's unfucking believable, man.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with people, man?
I
Like,
don't-
really, what is wrong with people?
Well, did you see the girl? Did you see the guy that won the beauty pageant? You got to look this up. There was a guy who was trans and won this beauty pageant. Now, I've seen trans girls that you can't tell, like they look beautiful. This guy, dressed up as a girl, was a goddamn linebacker for the New York Giants, and she won a beauty contest.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
Dude, I swear to God, it's.
Oh my God.
Are
Are you serious?
Yeah, I swear to God, dude.
Miss Universe or something, right?
Something like that. Yeah, she's this big.
Is that it?
She's this big fat dude, and she wants to be a girl, and she won this beauty pageant. And when she won, the fucking audience is
Fat,
clapping.
dude. This ain't a Fed.
No, this is.
I don't know if this is the same one, but this is definitely a dude, man. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, it's no, that's not her. No, that's not it. Dude, hold on, I'll see if I can fucking send it to you because it's out of control.
Oh, I see it. I got it. I got
Okay,
it. I got
okay.
it. I got it.
All right, yeah.
I do. I got it. Oh, I got it, bro. Wow.
Yeah, so not. Whoa!
Is that it?
Oh my god, dude!
Miss America.
Like seriously, like what is going on, bro? Like now you don't have to be a girl, and you don't even have to be beautiful. It's unbelievable, man.
Well, didn't what's his name? Trump said he's gonna run again, and he's gonna stop guys from competing in women's sports. Right?
I mean, how do you like?
He's
How
gonna make it like a law or something.
Dude, did you ever hear of Fallon Fox?
This dude said, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, dude, James,
I
it's
heard the
fucking
name
crazy.
before.
Fallon Fox was a guy, okay, who transitioned to a woman. He went full. He cut his junk off and everything, okay? And then he started fighting MMA, but he was fighting girls, and he never told anybody that he was an actual dude. Right?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I got a picture.
Yeah, there you go.
Picture.
And she was fucking these
Never
girls up.
told people.
Yeah, and she got in, and she was fighting MMA, right? And she was fighting these girls, and I think she actually cracked one girl's skull. So I mean, you know, come on, man.
And what did they eventually find out? Like,
Yeah, they found out. I don't know what the consequences were, but they found out.
This is crazy.
Dude, this is the shit that's going on. It's unbelievable, man. It's just, oh dear God.
Look at her stance. Look at her stance. That's a dude. Okay, man.
Oh, just dude. Bro, I just yeah.
Bro, my
Dude,
stomach hurts.
And this is the shit that goes on, bro. Yo, there was a guy that got arrested in Jersey. Okay? I swear to God, there was a guy that got arrested in Jersey. Okay? So I forgot what organization. He said that he identifies as a woman, but he was a dude, okay? Right? So they forced the union to put him in a woman's prison. And he was a guy. And the union, you saw that? And the union of the guards, the union was the guards was like, no, but he can't go in there. And they're like, no, he identifies as a girl. He's got to go in. And he got 2 of the girls pregnant in prison.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, listen. I have a video for you guys. I'm gonna play a video. Just give me 1 second. Let me wait for this. This is funny. This is too much, man. I'm gonna have an aneurysm watching this type of shit. For real, man. All right. If you have children in the room, please remove them now.
Beauty pageant had a controversial winner. It's a trans woman. Brian Wen entered the Greater Derry Beauty Competition operated by the Miss America organisation. And Brian, there we go. We can see which one Brian is. There's a few issues, This is like a South Park sketch. Brian beat several women to the first prize. Perhaps her special skill is testing our collective sanity. To get more on this, I'm joined now by Father Ted creator and legend, a chap I've always wanted to meet, actually, although I'm going to have to do it virtually, Graham Linehan. Graham, thank you very much. I'm just going to be really straightforward about this, and I'm probably going to cop it on social media. There's a few things wrong with this. It's a man who, as I understood it, potentially wasn't traditionally from that area, also isn't particularly beautiful. Your views?
Well, it would be fine if a woman who looked the way he looks ever won a competition like that, but they don't. The only person, in fact, who could win like that while looking like that is a man. And the thing that people kind of forget about this is it's not just a question of being nice to people and being accommodating, but there was a £7,000 prize award for that competition.
Really?
And I believe there was also some talk of sponsorship to colleges.
That shit was rigged, bro.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
So it's not just a kind of silly competition, although these competitions are, a thing of the past, really, and they are a bit ridiculous. But it has, there's good things if you win it. And that's been stolen from these women. And I noticed as well that the women in the image are seen cheering and applauding.
Yeah, that got me as well. That really got me, because you can see them. You know that surely, well, either they've been brainwashed into thinking that this is a fantastic thing, or they're just lying. But, I mean, spiked online...
No, can I add something to that, Mark?
Go on.
It's not that they're lying or brainwashed. It's that they know that if they express even a slight bit of annoyance or frustration, their lives will be destroyed by trans rights activists. That's what it's about. These people...
See what I'm saying? That's crazy,
That's
man.
pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic.
But
Yeah,
I
that's
cannot
right.
get my head around
It really
how
is,
utterly
man.
mental it is that a fat bloke has won a beauty pageant.
Grow
Seriously.
some
I'm sorry, I'm not-
balls.
I don't
Seriously.
there is also
Well, the
that
guy on
element
the
to it.
stage
You
just
hit the
needs to
nail on the
open
head,
his
which is
legs
that
and those ones will drop.
I'm sorry, but no woman, no biological
Holy
woman who
shit.
looked like that would have won.
What's
that
up,
beauty
Jessica?
pageant.
How are
And
you?
There were several. I mean, you actually, I think you wrote Father Ted, didn't you? There was the lovely girls element to that, which I thought was fantastic. I mean, you actually couldn't write this, could you?
No, I mean, people are always saying, are you ever going to write something about all this? And I genuinely think it's kind of next to impossible. It's too absurd. The only way you could really cover this subject is with either a documentary or a kind of docudrama like the OJ story, because the truth of it is so extraordinary that you have to.
Well, they did make a documentary. Actually.
I mean, when we say to people in 20 years
Bro,
time.
it's
But we
just
had
getting
a
ridiculously
UK Prime Minister
stupid. Like
Yeah.
really, this
They-
time, like
They did.
ridiculously stupid.
No, it's ridiculous. Matt Walsh from I forgot what Matt Walsh is another podcaster. I forgot what company he works for. He made a documentary. It was called "What Is a Woman," and he basically was going around. He was actually on Dr. Phil, and he was going around to these people and asking them, "What is a woman?" And the guy was like, "Well, a woman is anything you identify as." And he's like, "Well, what are you identifying as? What is that?" And they couldn't answer it, because they wouldn't answer it, because if they give an answer, then they're transphobes, But it's not just. The problem is that it's not just funny anymore. The problem is that you can go to Boston right now, and I forgot the name of the hospital. I want to say Boston University Hospital, but I might be wrong. And if a girl is 12 or 13 years old and she thinks that she is a guy, with parental consent, she can get a hysterectomy and get everything removed. Right now she can do it, today.
That insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And then
That should not be.
There might be more. There might be more now, but when that documentary came out, it came out about 6 months ago. There were 5 hospitals in the United States right now that are dedicated to transitioning minors. And
That's crazy. That's uncalled for.
Yeah.
And I don't care. You could hate me all you want. Nah, man.
It's ridiculous.
You wait till the people are of age, and they can make them decisions on their own.
yeah, and absolutely,
You don't
yeah.
do it before they're of age.
You have to establish some laws. I mean, you got to be 18 to drive. You got to be 21 to drink, but there's no age for chopping.
Going to the military, you got to be 18 to go to the military.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, come on, man. They they got to use their brains.
It's
with this
ridiculous.
Shit. It's getting out of control.
And then
with people's feelings and shit. Like, get over it, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And they use puberty. They refer to them as puberty blockers, right? And they stop. This is for men that want to be women. So they stop the production of testosterone. And one of the drugs they use, there was a state that actually used it on pedophiles to destroy the testosterone. So what they refer to as chemically castrating them, so they don't have the desire to. They should do that.
Well, they should do that.
Right, but they were using that drug on kids that decided that they wanted to be girls now. The boys that wanted to be girls now.
And that's not okay, man.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
That's not okay.
And the parents. Did you? All right. I lost total respect for Michael Strahan. I don't know if you saw when Michael Strahan, I forgot what the daytime talk show he had. He had on this little boy, amazing something. I don't remember the little boy, and the kid was like 8 or 9, and he was a trans girl, and the parents were there, and he's got this long wig on and makeup and clothes. You could look it up. And he basically is on the runway in the show, and he's acting all sexy and everything, and he lays down, spreads his legs, the whole deal. And he's a little boy who's 8 or 9, and his parents are in the audience, like, clapping along, and the whole audience is clapping along, and Michael Strahan is there and they're all clapping along and asking him questions. Bro. And I was like, you're Michael Strahan, like, dude, stand up and get off the show and be like, this is wrong. This is, but he couldn't do that because he knew they would fuck with his money, and he don't want to fuck with his money, so they just go along.
Lose his job, he'd lose his job, and you get banned and all this crazy stuff. 11 years old. 11.
You found it, right?
Yeah, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And that for them to even have these, I am just like, what? Like,
yeah, you wouldn't think it was. You wouldn't think it would be real. Like if you came from a third world country and you saw that and somebody told you this was going on, you'd be like, get the hell out of here. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And if you haven't heard the name Desmond Napoles, get ready for this trailblazing 11-year-old drag kid who RuPaul is calling the future. His bravery is inspiring so many. We're going to talk to him in just a moment, but first, let's take a look at his amazing story.
I'm Desmond. I'm 11 years old, and I like pizza, trains, and drinking root beer since it's caffeine-free. I also do drag.
Dude,
and
that's
I
not
love
okay,
makeup,
bro.
dresses,
I don't like.
wigs, and of course jewelry.
It's not okay, bro.
My
And
drag
you
name
can
is Desmond
backlash me
Amazing,
all you
so
want,
very
man.
happy to
I
have
do
a man
not
that
care.
accepts me.
This is not
It
okay.
really touches me
Definitely.
deeply that there are other children out there that he's reaching and they're listening.
These
to him
parents,
and he's
this is
influencing
abuse,
them.
man.
Yeah, but look at the mother talking, and look at the type of guy he
found
married.
his path so early.
My greatest joy in this is just seeing Desmond happy.
I love doing drag because it makes me feel amazing and self-expressive. It just feels amazing to know
Like,
that
listen,
what I
man,
do.
kids,
My one
they
big
should
message
they shouldn't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying? They should not even be subjected to things like that.
You shouldn't be sexualizing your kid at all. Period. Nothing. You shouldn't be sexualizing him at all at 11 years old. Look. Like when I was growing up, I found like the stack of nudie magazines that my brothers had, and my father caught me going through them. Right, so I'm looking at all these nudie magazines, and then my father took them away, and he was like, you don't look at those. Now, of course, he was cool with the fact that I like looking at girls, but as a father, you have to stop. You got to discipline, so you got to be like, no, don't. And I had to be this kid's age, and he was like, no, you can't look at that. You know what I mean? It's just simple parenting, and it's gone. It's unbelievable, man. What do you think that kid is gonna do? What do you mean? If they're letting them do it,
sad, man. It really is sad. Like, they're just letting kids' imagination go with whatever, and people are going with the shit, man. Like, oh, he wants to be a robot today. Let him be a robot. No, get your ass to school. You're a human being.
Yeah.
You're a male. You're a female. Let's cut the bullshit, man.
And that's it.
Like,
it's
insane. It's
just
really
getting
getting ridiculous.
And it's
man.
getting
really
worse and worse. I interviewed a trans woman, right? That was an arm wrestler. When she was a guy, right? When she was a guy, she was an amateur arm wrestler at best. She became a woman, right? This guy turned and became a woman and went full, cut everything off.
Beat everyone.
And yeah, world champion woman now. She was a guy,
Cut
amateur.
it off.
Yeah.
Is there any regret at all? Even a little bit?
I don't know. I didn't ask her, to be honest with you. Him, her, whatever. I didn't ask her. She came on. She was very nice. We had a nice conversation. I asked her some controversial questions. Same thing. Like, I let her answer. I didn't drill her. I gave her my opinion, but I didn't drill her. It was a nice conversation. But the fact of the matter was, when she was a dude, she was an amateur arm wrestler. When she was a man, she was a professional world champion. She won a world title.
No, when she was a woman. You mean when she was
I'm sorry, when she was a woman. I apologize. Yeah, even I get confused. I don't even fucking know. Yeah, it's fucking
wow, man.
It's crazy. Yeah,
like you have to be 18 years old to buy cigarettes, right? You have to be 16 years old to drive a car.
Yeah.
So why are they letting kids make decisions that grown people should be making?
Yeah.
Why should these thoughts even be pushed on kids?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me, man.
It's unbelievable. Like it's Matt Walsh put it the best, and he said that they want to make womanhood like a something that everybody could wear, like a costume that you could wear, right? Meanwhile, being a woman is very special.
But it's not.
It's
not.
Yeah, it isn't. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like, women are women. They give birth. A man is supposed to protect a woman.
Right.
A man's supposed to protect a woman.
Protect and
for a
provide.
woman.
Exactly.
Not saying that a woman can't go and provide for herself. Of course she can.
But there are traditional roles.
A man's job in this world, it's to hold down a woman. And the woman's there to bring the kids into the world and take care of the household, and the man's supposed to be there and do his part.
Absolutely.
It's not supposed to be one side. Oh, I'm the woman. I run everything.
No,
then go have kids by yourself then.
Yeah,
you obviously don't need a man.
Yeah, listen.
You want to be a man, so go be a man.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's happening is people are raising girls like men, and they're raising boys like girls, right? So even today, I was having a conversation at work. My friend, he's got 2 twin girls, and he's enrolling them in, what is that Israeli fighting skill, Magaraga, some shit like that. It's a real vicious fighting. It's like an MMA, put it that way. Put him in MMA. And 8 years old, 2 8-year-old girl, twin girls. And I didn't say anything because it's his kids and it's him and his wife's decision. But, why do you want to make them fight? They're girls. I don't know. I wouldn't.
Like taking a little kid and saying, "Here's a wig and a dress." Here,
it's
dress up.
well, and let me tell you something. Seriously, like
they're just construing. They're like blurring the lines. They're trying to blur the lines between male and female, and it's crazy, bro. I never heard nothing like this in my life. It's crazy.
And it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Some people get mad if you call them. If you say, "Excuse me, sir, I'm a woman. You call me woman, blah, blah, blah." I'll have a lawsuit against crazy.
It's insane. And the numbers for dudes, the stats for dudes are out of control as far as I'll say self-delete because you can't say the word, or I'll say grape. But men commit grape or self-delete 3 to 5 times more than women do. And there's basically 2 reasons for it. The first reason is men tend to choose guns because they really want to kill themselves, right? And the other reason is a lot of times when a woman, attempts, did I say grape? I'm sorry, not grape. I apologize. I'm getting confused. Self-delete. So when a woman wants to self-delete, I'm sorry. A lot of times it's an attempt at attention, right? But when a man wants to do it, he goes through with it, and men generally use guns. So there's more attempts by women, but there's more actual deaths by men by self-deleting. And there was I'm pretty sure it was the Washington Post that did a study that guys under 30 today, since the last generation, since our generation, are tripled in being a virgin than our generation. So only one out of every...
Triple?
Yeah. There's triple the amount of virgins under the age of 30.
Wait. So they're just sitting home on their little computer like, I ain't ever getting a girl.
No, never. Nope. That's it.
What the fuck? That's terrible, bro. That's like a living nightmare.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
For me as a kid, as growing up.
Because I don't care. Kidding? I don't care what anybody says, man. If you raise a boy to pedestalize women, right? Girls don't like nice guys. They like guys that are rough around the edges. Doesn't mean you have to be a criminal, but it just means you got to be a little rough. You're not taking any shit. So on and so forth. So if you raise a boy to basically, like I said, pedestalize a woman, I mean that's just, it doesn't work. Girls could say it all day long. They could say, "Oh, I want a nice guy, and I want this, and I want that." But the truth of the matter is, they get a nice guy and they don't want him. They want the guy. A woman, generally speaking, wants an animal that they can control. So they want a guy that can turn into that animal, but he has to be in check, right?
Or someone they think they could try to fix, right? Like, he has this problem. I know I can get it under control.
Well, it's a little bit
too much. I'll just
it's a little bit different because you gotta remember that. There's a difference between a guy who's naive and then there's a good man, right? Guys that are naive are going to get taken advantage of constantly, no matter what, because they are going to be a target. But good men are men that know that they are capable of standing up for themselves, and they do it when it's necessary, right? A naive man doesn't know anything. Yeah. So there's a difference between, and a naive guy when the girl goes, "Oh, he's such a nice guy." That's a naive guy, right? So, but the difference is, then you have your criminals, right? Your badasses, the guys that just don't have any restraint, and they're violent felons, right? And the good man and the violent felon, the thing that they have in common is that they have the ability to be violent, stand up for themselves when necessary. So that's very confusing for a woman, because it's the same characteristics in both, except that we're not raising good men anymore. We're raising naive men, and we're raising criminals, because there's no father figure in the home anymore. There's no strong father figure in the home, right? So what you're getting is single mothers, and the boys are turned out to be almost like girls, right? Like very emotional and very, and if they do get a girl, it's like put on a pedestal.
They turn out to full of anxiety or some shit. They're full of anxiety, and this shit is more prevalent nowadays.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Or if they're by single mothers, they tend to hit the streets and become criminals and so on and so forth. 70% of male prisoners come from single mother homes. So what happens is you have about 50% divorce rate. So you got about 50% of kids with single mothers. You got 40% of kids being born out of wedlock, and 70% of teachers are women. So these boys are being raised like women. So there's no solid father figure to say, "Hey, look, this is what you have to do." Okay, you're getting bullied at school. You got to stand up for yourself. A kid gets bullied at school and there's a single mother. She goes up to the school and complains to the teacher and complains to the principal. A good man, when his son gets bullied at school, he either does two things: get outside and kick the shit out of him, or come on, we're going to karate, we're going to boxing, we're going to wrestling. You got to learn how to defend yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm going to show you out. When next time he bullies you just
exactly
go, smack him up.
Right.
And then the bullying stops.
Exactly.
Boom.
So, but that's not happening anymore. So, and women have this trend now where they're dating, they're actually marrying down. They're marrying the naive guy. They're marrying the guy that pedestalizes them. You know, because they have this instinct for control, but they don't never respect him. The divorce rate in this country is about 50%, but it's
the woman's driving the car. Like,
exactly.
He's got everything. She's making him hold the fucking purse and shit.
Yeah, and that's the guys that these girls are marrying. You know, but there's 50% divorce rate in this country, but 70 to 80% are filed by women. And then if the woman is college educated, that the filing goes up to 90%. So you inevitably are going to have single moms rather raising these kids, because when 90 to 95% of the time the guy loses his house, he loses his money, he loses his kids, and he sees his kids every other weekend. You know. So how good of a parent can you be if you see your kids every other weekend? And then this is what's happening.
Jessica says Uncle John is right. I'm a single mom trying to be mom and dad. My 18-year-old son is on the path of being a tough guy. Single parenting is difficult. Jessica, I don't know the story. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure you're doing the best job you could possibly do, but we're calling these single moms like strong. Is that you're a strong woman and you get it. You don't need no man. And then when a woman is feminine and at home and takes care of her family and cooks for her husband and her kids, that seems as being oppressive, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Or abusive, right? That's an abusive thing.
Yeah, it's like
that's how you create a household.
It's your family. That's your Candace Owens said.
What do they want?
Yeah, Candace Owens said, you're gonna make me try and shame me for taking care of my family? That's my husband and you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Morgan Stanley actually did another study, right? That women that are the age of between 25 and 45 that are working in corporate America, I think it was 48%, will be single and childless, period. 48%. That's scary, dude. That's scary, because if you think
this world's going for tragic consequences, man.
Dude, it's the more research you do,
it's gonna be bad, bro.
The more research you do, and the more that you look into it, the worse it gets. Women are very strong, but children need their father. Thank you.
Children need their father.
That's right. There are things as a mother I can't teach my kids, and there are things that look. It's really simple. I use this example all the time. Okay, this is why you need both parents, and this is why you need to marry a good man, not a naive man. You don't marry a naive man. This is why you need to have both parents, okay? When I was 7 years old, I pissed my pants. I'll never forget it, okay? And I remember I was playing outside, and I go upstairs, and I'm trying to hide it because I knew I would get in trouble. And my father opens the door to the bathroom, and goes, "What are you doing?" And he saw that I pissed myself. And he's yelling at me, and he goes, "What the hell is wrong with you, man?" He goes, get in the shower, take off your clothes. What are you going to be pissing yourself? What's next? I got to wipe your ass for you? I remember he's yelling at me. So he goes downstairs, and I take a shower, and I put on my pajamas, and I go downstairs, and my mother's like, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "Your son pissed himself." And my mother was like, gave me a kiss and a hug, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's no big deal." So what's happening? What's happening is balance, right? My father's showing me that is stupid. I shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, my mother's saying it's really no big deal. So there's balance, right? You take one of those things away. So you take the mother away, and you think that you're a failure because all you're getting is ridiculed, right? Constantly ridiculed. You take the father away, and you grew up entitled because nothing you do is wrong. And this is the problem. Women can't.
Yeah, you're like, it's all right. Just piss the bed. It's fine.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Let's get some meds. Scramble that brain up.
Exactly.
Talk to someone about it.
Yeah, right, dude. It's fucking pathetic, bro. It really is. It's fucking pathetic.
It really is, man.
Look,
these Karens out there, man.
Oh,
Karens.
That's entitlement at its best. things that have nothing to do with you, and you want to like dictate. You know, I think. Did you ever see the comic Andrew Schultz? Do you ever know who that comic is?
No.
You gotta watch him. He's hilarious. Okay, the guy's hysterical. He has his own podcast too, but he's hilarious. He said he was on an interview and he said that he was doing stand up and somebody had a seizure in the crowd, right? So they stopped the show. They called the paramedics.
Yep.
The paramedics come in. They take her out. She's okay. She's getting checked out. Everything is okay. They go back to the show, and Andrew Schultz just starts making jokes about the seizure that just happened. And some lady in the back of the audience starts yelling, "You can't make fun of people like that. That's terrible. You can't make jokes. That lady's sick." And he said to the girl, "What do you do for a living?" And she said, I think she said, "I'm a paramedic or I'm a nurse or something like that." And he said, "Well, why didn't you help?" And
why didn't you save her?
yeah. But you know, that's the world we live in now as far as Karens. Like, I'm gonna tell you my opinion, but I'm not gonna do anything. You know.
Yeah, that's a big problem, man.
Yeah, you know, and then you get it's pathetic, dude. It's fucking ridiculous, man. But whatever. What time is it?
And a lot of these people, man, they come on the internet and they say things because they know they'll never see the person in real life.
Oh,
they
sure, absolutely.
So they run their mouth.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah, you would never say those things to somebody
Cherry
in
Blossom,
person.
what's up?
You would never say those things in front of somebody, you know. I interview a lot of female bodybuilders, and they get trolled all the time on the internet, on social media. But in person, they're like, "No, people are very nice to me." I was like, because they're not going to say it to your face, you know.
Of course. No, they're not.
Yeah, it's pathetic, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. I don't know.
I'm a little reckless, so I might say it to your face.
Yeah, but I could.
Man, just what I am.
But that's that.
Got no filter. Sorry.
You respect that, though. You respect that. You know, there was a guy that I used to work with. His name was Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, I know the consequences. I'm willing to get punched in the face.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
We all know. Yeah, we all know that there's that line. We all know that there's that line that men can't cross. And two men having an argument know the line exists, and they know that it could get physical real quick. All right, so that's why men need to be reasonable, right? And most men do become reasonable, right? As a matter of fact, that's what they teach you when you go to MMA or martial arts. You know, be able to defend yourself, but only as a last resort, right? And they teach you.
Like you're supposed to use it as an offense,
right?
Like
defense.
Be offensive, right? Not
use it as a defense, yeah, right. Yeah, you don't ever want to be starting the conflict. You always want to end the conflict. It is a last
way out.
Right, that's it. And that's what they teach you, you know, and you know that there's that line, and you can feel it. There are times that I've had situations in my recent past where I felt the line coming, and I took a step back, and I was like, I know this is not going to get any better, so let me take a step back, you know. Otherwise, it's not worth it at 46 years old to be rolling around in the street with somebody and fist fighting like you're 17. It's ridiculous, right? So it's just
depends on what it's over, though. Really, right?
Yeah. Well, listen. If you try to bang my wife, that's one thing. But you know, if you cut me off, I'm not going to get out of the car and beat the shit. It's just.
Yeah. There's balances, man.
Yeah.
Choose your battle.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what it is.
Oh, it's unbelievable, dude.
But yo, man, I appreciate you taking your time coming on my show, man.
Absolutely.
I definitely had fun chopping it up with you.
We'll do it again.
And I definitely want to do this again, man. I think the people out here liked what we gave them tonight.
Definitely.
And I got to go drink some coffee and get on my next project. I got some things in the works, but I really appreciate you. I put the link for your podcast in the description of this video. If anyone wants to check it out, all of his links are in the description of this video. Just go check them out and subscribe.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, brother.
Definitely, man. And thank you everyone that joined us tonight, and I'll see you guys soon. I'm gonna be back on later with Bill and Bill with me, Bill. So stay tuned for that. You know, the greatest hits of the mafia coming up next. But thanks, man, and I'll see you soon. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time. Peace.
Later.